You are from which batch? All of you are from
2016 batch.
2016. Okay, nice. 2016 in sense. Now we are on final year only, na?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
sir.
How many of you are there? Yeah, I'm not able to see how many people are participating.
Sir, now 35 are there, sir. People are joining, sir.
Okay, when should we start then?
Sir, we can start, sir.
Start, huh? No problems.
No,
You
sir.
can start, sir. They'll join in between, sir.
They'll join in between.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, all the okay. Keep it as simple as possible. Okay, I'll be very what do you call concise on whatever I teach. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Now keep interacting, because if you don't interact now, all of you can unmute here. If you are in a closed room, if you are in an open room, that's okay. But all of you can unmute, because let it not be a small presentation kind of thing. Let me see whether you are all understanding what I say.
Okay, sir.
Keep it as a class. Don't keep it as a presentation of mine, or there are not much of people. I think 30 of you, I think.
Yes.
Okay, sir.
Listen, guys, orthopedics is one subject where you need not stress yourself. Okay, you need not stress yourself, especially these COVID times. You need not even read. You just see 2-3 presentations, and that's enough for orthopedics. Okay. Now, today's topic will be on non-union and delayed union, Nana. Okay. The simple words are actually very simple. They have been very well defined. They are non-union is the fracture which is not united, and delayed union is where you are the union time is more than what is expected. Okay, those two are what I'm going to teach you today. Okay, let's go into some of the slides of mine. Okay, now you anybody knows who is she? Nobody.
No, sir.
No, sir.
No. See, this great lady is Margaret Meda. She's one of the biggest anthropologists we know of. Okay, she was anthropology is dealing with how civilizations worked, how people reformed themselves, and how people got cultured and all. A very famous quote of hers is the first sign of civilization, whatever it is a uniting femur. And people were very amazed to know that how can a uniting femur be the first sign of civilization? I am telling you this because if a femur has to unite, it needs a lot of attention. Because if one animal breaks its leg, it's obvious to die. It has to die in hands of hunger. It has to either die in hands of other carnivorous animals, or she will just die out of the pain and the agony. A femur has to unite in a human being. That means a lot of care would have been taken by somebody else for around 6 to 9 months. That means somebody would have got very cultured, civilized, and proper care would have been given to this femur to get united. And that's why the first sign of civilization is a uniting femur. There was a wonderful quote by Margaret Meda. Do you think how much it needs for a bone to unite? Okay. Somebody say okay, man, so that I get all of you listening.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes,
The first sign of civilization is what? A uniting femur. Okay.
Yes.
Now, see, the second person we should talk about is this person. He is known as the magician from Kurgan. He is Professor Elizarov. Did anybody hear Elizarov, something like that? Did anybody of you hear Elizarov?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No. This great person, he is Professor Elizarov. This Professor Elizarov was the first person who said, why not just try to keep on uniting? Why not distract the bone and try to unite them? And he used cycle rings instead of usual bones, plates, and all those nails. He used cycle rings to unite. People thought he's a crazy person, so they left him. But in 1990s, his work got recognized, and this is a present day treatment for all the non-unions. That is a Elizarov ring fixator, you call it. What do you call it? Elizarov ring fixator. We all have been using this since 90s, and it has been the super standard treatment of non-unions. In fact, the very great thing about this Elizardo is that Elizardo sir, he went to write his candidate for science exam, and he presented his thesis on this Elizardo ring fixator. And you will wonder that he got a master's degree in that rather than a candidate's degree. All the medals have been presented during World War. He had such great achievement. Now, to even decide what is non-union, non-union is not uniting. We should understand what is union. Can anybody tell me what is a fracture first of all?
So
Anybody knows what is fracture? Guess sir, guess man, no need to worry.
discontinuation in
Very good. Discontinuity of a?
bone or a connective tissue.
Not bad, not bad. Not bad. That's a good definition for fracture, okay?
Yes.
Now, whenever you have a fracture, okay, whenever you have fracture, it's a discontinuity of a bone or a breach in the continuity of a bone is a fracture, okay? Now, whenever you have fracture, now the first thing you start up with is a bleeding from the inner vessels. You see this? I'll point out something, okay? This one, okay. Now you see the red dot? These are the
Yes,
bleeding vessels, okay? For the first 8 hours, what happens is it starts bleeding like this around the fracture site. And that fracture site bleeding is known as hematoma, okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Within 8 hours, this happens, okay?
Okay.
After the hematoma is formed, the vessels start blocking themselves and newer vessels get formed. You see the new vessels which are getting formed? They bring in lot of inflammatory materials such as macrophages and lot of inflammatory other materials, IL-6, IL-7, all these materials come to the fracture site. And they start something known as inflammation. That is the first stage is hematoma formation, which happens for 7 hours. The inflammation happens for 7 days. Okay. Then the other cells such as osteoclast and osteocytes and osteoblast come there and they form what is known as callus. Okay.
Yes.
And after callus, they start consolidating itself. The new bone is formed that is known as either a hard callus or a consolidation. Last but not the least, they start remodeling into the form of a same bone which was there innately. Okay, that is known as remodeling. This was the question which came to me in my post-graduation exam. Okay, I had to correctly sequence this, put it in line, whether what are the stages of union. Okay, that is hematoma formation, then the inflammation, then the callus formation, then the consolidation, and then lastly the remodeling. Okay, got the point, all of you?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
And to remember how the days count, it is a hematoma is for 7 hours, inflammation is for 7 days, callus is for 7 weeks, consolidation is again for a month, and remodeling is for 2 years. That again makes one question, how many years does the remodeling go on? It is 1 to 2 years, Nana. It is not nothing to be, you should not mark as 1 month, 2 months and all. Remodeling starts around 1 month and it happens till 1 to 2 years. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Now the definition of non-union is that it's very difficult to decide actually what is not united. Okay. So as I told you, the fracture which takes more than usual time is known as delayed union. Okay. But what is this usual time? The usual time is 6 months. Okay. If
Okay,
a
sir.
bone is uniting or it is not united by 6 months, it is known as delayed union. Okay.
Okay.
But when do you call it as non-union? The FDA approved non-union definition is when a bone has not united by 9 months. 9 months. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So if I put a time frame, it is 6 months for delayed union and 9 months for non-union. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Now, you are able to see this whole screen.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So if I were to define in an orthopedic way that what is non-union, the best way of defining it is a stage of fracture healing where there is complete suspension of process of repair that has come to a standstill both radiologically and biologically. The word should be both radiologically, and that means you are not able to see any union on the X-rays, and you are not able to see the biology which is getting connected. Okay, and the fracture will unite only if you do some intervention. Intervention is that you cannot say ki, I will continue slab for some more days, I will continue immobilization for some more days, and that will unite. That is not non-union. You have to intervene. Intervene in sense, you have to either do bone grafting, or you have to do some repair, or go inside and again put a plate or release arrow ring fixator or something, surgically or interventionally, not conservatively. Okay, these three words are the main fundamental things of a non-union. That is, both radiologically and biological, they are not uniting until unless you intervene. Okay, these three words must be used in a non-union definition. Surgical, your surgery paper will have this question of non-union. Then you should use your definition wisely. That is, you are unable to see any radiological union, you are unable to see any biological union until unless you do some intervention. Okay, and the FDA approval for the insurance purpose, it is bone which has not united for 9 months, and you don't see any consecutive signs of radiological union for 3 consecutive months. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Now you can, there are a lot of causes of non-union, but first of all, whenever a patient falls down, supposedly he has a grave bad injury, okay, and the bone unite, fractures like not into 2 pieces, but a lot of pieces, then that is known as some distraction. If you have a poor soft tissue cover, in sense the bone should be covered by a periosteum and the muscle. If they are not covered, the bone is exposed. There is no periosteum and blood supply is lost. The soft tissue loss is one more cause. If supposedly one bone chip only falls away in the road and you land up with some bone loss, that again can be a cause of non-union. Sometimes you put in some rod or some POP and there is some muscle which is there in the fracture site, again that will lead to a non-union. Supposedly you have got a very old lady who has got a very poor blood supply. Suppose you have still a lot of hematoma. Suppose you have an infection or some pathological fracture such as some osteogenic carcinoma or something which is there, that also can cause a non-union. Thirdly, we as a surgeon, if supposedly we don't give a right treatment. In fact, to say the truth, the most common cause of non-union is poor fixation. That means the surgeon is not doing a good work. Okay. Secondly, what all we blame is patient's age, poor medication, smoking by the patient. Okay. Now, if supposedly I ask you a question, what is the most common cause of non-union? Can somebody answer me?
Poor fixation.
No.
Age.
What? No. The most common cause of non-union is, can anybody else guess?
Smoking on.
Okay.
Immobilization, sir.
It is a person who is unable to diagnose a delayed non-union is the most common cause of non-union.
Okay, sir.
At the point, the answer is inability to find a delayed union is the most common cause of non-union.
It's like medical negligence.
Yeah, it's kind of medical negligence when we don't follow up the patient. Okay. If you do the right treatment at right time, you will get right results. If you miss that, that is the most common cause of non-union. Okay. Last but not the least, the drugs, man. Drugs, all of you should underline the NSAIDs, Nana. Using a lot of painkillers will also cause non-union. Other drugs which causes fluoroquinolones, Nana. This can be a question in your postgraduate exam. Okay, NSAIDs and fluoroquinolone. Okay.
Okay.
Next. Now, whatever you have done, supposedly the patient lands up with a non-union. Okay. These are the following things which can happen. He may have persistent pain. He can have a deformed leg. He can have an abnormal mobility, disability, and morbidity. Okay, a lot of morbidity. Believe me, if fractures usually happen in young patients, man, and these non-unions, if you happen, no, they will have a lot of monitory disturbances. Mostly, you will be treating very poor patients, man. especially in KMC, a lot of poor patient comes. A lot of morbidity associated with non-unions. Okay. Now, as I told you, supposedly a fracture. You see this bad fracture in this severe high energy injury, probably a run over injury by the truck. The soft tissue is lost, the bone is lost. You may have a vascular and neural injuries. Okay. And at last, when you start treating it, you will not find how to unite a bone. And at last, you will end up with something known as an infection. And all these causes can cause a non-union. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Blood supply, poor blood supply can be of two reasons. One is due to the trauma, and third one, see the second picture, where somebody has done a plating for a bone. But he see the plating problem here, what has he done? He has completely removed the periosteum, completely. He has stripped the bone of the periosteum and put a plate. Then how will the blood supply come? It will not come, and this bone will not unite. Okay, that is a poor surgery and a poor fracture. You see this? Poor fracture is patient's factor, but surgeon also is equally responsible for the same. Now, somebody has put in a small wires inside the bone. Okay, they are too flexible. That means the bone will keep on moving even when the bone is to unite. Sometimes you put in a nail and keep the fracture site distracted. You see there is a gap in the fracture site. That is also a bad thing. That are surgical errors which cause non-union. Okay. You should have a wise decision. What should I operate? How should I operate? What implant should I use? And how should I reduce the fracture? Okay.
Yes,
See,
sir.
somebody has done some major surgery, some heroic surgery has been done, but still the bone has not united because he has stripped off the complete periosteum and a lot of damage has been done to the blood supply. Okay. The iatrogenic factors include poor reduction, poor fixation, and bone revitalization. Okay. Now, patient-related causes, Nana. A hypoproteinemia is one of the most common causes of bone non-union men. Hypoproteinemia. Whenever you are facing with a non-union patient, always check the albumin levels. Okay. Poor malnutrition is one of the causes of non-union. The second most common is smoking. Third is NSAIDs, and others is diabetic and paraplegic patients. And chronic alcoholism can also lead to that. Other most common cause is whenever you tell the patient not to walk till the bone unites, the patient will keep on walking, or patient will not listen to your instructions. That also is a cause. Okay. Now, last but not the least is infection. What a surgeon or an orthopedic person does not want is infection, man. It is one of the most difficult things to treat in orthopedics. In fact, the first line of your Campbell, if you read in osteomyelitis, the first line of Campbell itself says that osteomyelitis is difficult to treat. Okay, osteomyelitis or bone infections are very difficult to treat. Until unless you remove or chop off the whole of the bone, you will not have a good healing of the wound. Okay. Now, supposedly we go into the classification. It can be a site-based, it can be callus-based or infection-based. Okay. What we are going to learn today is callus-based type of of non-union. Okay. First one is the hypertrophic callus. Okay. You see, if you see this first picture, you can see something like an elephant foot. Okay. The two fractures come together like an elephant foot. Okay. This elephant foot is known as a hypertrophic non-union. Okay. This happens because though the bone wants to unite, but you have not given it adequate immobility. The bone keeps on moving and this thing gets formed. Okay. Are you able to see this hand of mine? Both of the hands, the fracture wants to unite, but it keeps moving because you have not immobilized it properly. Okay. When you have not immobilized it properly, you get a picture called as a elephant foot. Okay, this is known as an elephant foot kind of hypertrophic non-union.
Okay.
Okay. The second one, that oligotropic, is known as a horse hoof kind of non-union, where you learn something like a horse hoof, where the bones are there, the movement is also restricted, but the initiation is not happening. The initiation of the union is not happening. Initiation in the sense the union is not starting itself. You get something known as an oligotropic kind of non-union or a horse hoof kind of a non-union. Okay, horse hoof. The first one is the elephant foot. The second is known as a horse hoof. And the last one you see where there is only some fibrous tissue which is connecting the bones, but there is no callus. This thing is known as an atrophic kind of non-union. The last two ones are due to infection. That means you have got a big non-vascular fragment, okay, in the necrotic part. You're able to see this, sir?
Yes, sir.
You're able to see this? The small necrotic part, which is devoid of blood supply. That's why the
Yes, sir.
bone is not uniting because of the gap. The last one where you have lost a complete bone, okay? This kind of a patient presents to us with a pain at the fracture site, okay? And on examination, you see that you are able to move that. You are able to see this, you are able to move the fracture site like this.
Yes, sir.
And you are able to even deform it like this. That means the bone has not united, okay?
Yes, sir.
These three signs are the clinical signs of non-union. That is pain,
Able to move.
physiological movement. Movement should happen only at joints, man. Okay? They should not happen at the fracture side, and there is a deformity. These are the three signs of
No, no, no.
non-union. When you see such a patient, then you take an X-ray, okay? In that X-ray, if you see there will be an implant which is getting failed, that means few screws starts breaking, the nail starts breaking, okay? And on an X-ray, if you see, that is what kind of non-union is this? Can somebody tell me?
Hypertrophy.
Hypertrophic kind of non-union. And what type of hypertrophic kind of non-union?
Sir, elephant foot.
Yeah, it's an elephant foot kind of non-union, okay?
Yes, sir.
It's an elephant foot where you have not immobilized it properly. If you would have put a nail, no, it would have been united. But it is not united because there is no proper immobilization. When you take an X-ray and you are unable to see what is happening, then what you can do is to take a stress view X-ray. When you bend it and take an X-ray. You see on the other side, when you have put a varus strain like this, then the fracture site is moving. That is a definitive sign of non-union, okay?
Yes, sir.
Now, if somebody asks me what is the gold standard diagnostic modality for non-union, the answer should be CT scan, man. Okay? If you see on the left-hand side, the bone looks almost united. Okay? But
Yes,
on the CT scan, if you see, it is completely non-united. Okay? See this femur neck. It also looks united on the X-ray, but on the CT scan, it looks non-united. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now you see the other one. I told you hypertrophic non-union, no? The elephant foot and horse hoof. These things only need some immobilization, okay? Something in form of a nail, something in form of a plate, or something like that is enough to treat this, okay? You need not bone graft it. Now, atrophic non-union, there is no callus at all. That means to make it, to get it united, you have to cut the edges completely, try to get a reduction properly, and then take a bone graft from somewhere and put it there. Push the bone graft inside, and then that will unite. Okay? You have to do both stabilization as well as bone grafting. Okay? That is a treatment for atrophic kind of non-union.
Okay.
Now, the last one, last but not the least, is the avital necrosis. I told you now there is a gap or the necrotic fragment. You have to remove that. You have to either dog these two bones again like this and put a bone or a nail. Okay? And either, if you're not able to do that, I told you now the Elizarov ring, where you put a ring around and try to get the fragments together. Okay? Those
Okay.
kinds of surgeries are to be done for non-union. Okay? Now, the biggest problem in the present day scenario in the medical science is infection. Amma. Infection is a pain when you happen it in, when it happens in bone. It is the biggest pain you can get. Okay. If supposedly you get an infected non-union, the first thing you should do is to remove the infected implant. If supposedly somebody is operated inside and there is some nail or plate inside, the infection will never go because there is something called a biofilm which gets formed on the implants. This biofilm is actually a layer of the bacteria which gets formed on the implant itself, and that does not let that implant get non-infected anytime. That means you have to remove the implant anyhow. You have to remove the implant completely and do a stabilization using a fixator. Fixator is what? Fixator is something which you put outside the skin. Okay, you put some pins inside and put a rod outside. That is known as a fixator. Okay, then do a culture specific antibody test and then deliver the antibody to that part. Okay.
Okay,
Now
sir.
I told you the commonest cause of non-union is what?
Medical negligence, like
No, the commonest cause of non-union is
No,
missing
no.
a delayed union.
missing delay. Oh, yes.
Missing a delayed union is the commonest cause of non-union.
Sir.
The process is like that only. It's a slow union, then it goes to delayed union, and then goes to a non-union. Okay? That means you have to carefully keep on following up the patient. If it's 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4th month, 6th month, then you should get an alert sign. Yeah, I have to intervene now. If you intervene the delayed union, you will not get non-union, because treating a delayed union is very easy. Treating a non-union is very, very difficult. Okay?
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
sir.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me talk about some of the questions which may come. Okay? There are common sites where you get femur neck, common sites where you get non-union. Okay? The first and foremost site is femur neck. Okay? Femur has got 3 parts. Okay? One is the head, femur head, then the neck, and then the shaft. Okay?
Sir.
If a fracture happens just below the head, okay, here somewhere below the head, this is known as femur neck fracture. Okay, that is a very common fracture in old age people. The femur neck, the blood supply is retrograde for the femur. In sense, the blood supply comes from here and goes up. Comes from here and goes up. If you have a fracture here, the blood supply to this head will be lost, and that's why you land up with non-union. Okay. Second one is scaphoid. Scaphoid is a bone which is in the wrist. Okay, on the lateral side of the wrist, you have got scaphoid. A scaphoid also has got a retrograde blood supply. That means if I see this is scaphoid, the blood supply will come like this and then come like this and come down like this. Retrograde from above downwards, like this. Okay, and lower third of tibia. Lower third of tibia again is one of the most common places where you get a non-union, because there is lot of deprivation of the blood supply, because the nutrient artery to the tibia is actually going upwards. In sense, there is only one nutrient vessel which goes downwards. If somebody asks me which of the following has got abundant blood supply: femur neck, scaphoid, lower third of tibia, lateral condyle of humerus, what should be the answer? Abundant blood supply.
Lateral condyle of humerus.
Yes, you're right. Mohan Kumar, you're right. Mohan Kumar, I think, answered. Lateral condyle of humerus is has got abundant blood supply. Okay. Other 3 ones, the femur neck, the scaphoid, and the lower third of tibia, they don't have adequate blood supply. Okay.
Okay.
Now the last 3 ones, you see the lateral condyle of humerus, this one. This is lateral condyle of humerus. Okay. All the muscles of the forearm, no, they originate from here. If supposedly you have a fracture here, due to the muscle pull, this will get rotated like this, and it will not unite. The second place is olecranon. This is olecranon. If you have a fracture, the triceps will pull this fracture away, and it will not unite. And last but not the least is the patella. Patella also, the proximally you have got attachment of the quadriceps, and distally you have the patella tendon, and keeps on distracting the fracture site. That's why they did not unite. In fact, all the fractures, these 6 fractures which I have told now, they become they are so prone to get into non-union that you have to always operate on all these patients. Okay? You don't have a conservative management for all these fractures. These are otherwise called fractures of necessity. Okay? What are the fractures of necessity? These are femur neck, scaphoid, lower third of tibia, distal lateral condyle of femur, humerus, olecranon, and patella. Okay, all of you can note down this.
Okay,
You can
sir.
get question like this. Okay, these all are fractures of necessity where you have to operate on them. Okay. Now there are a lot of non-surgical managements for non-union, but most often as an orthopedic surgeon we always operate. Okay, the few ones which have been tried are stem cells. What you do is to take on autologous blood, try to get the stem cells out of the plasma and try to inject in the fracture site. Okay. Second one is a demilitarized bone matrix. You can have a cancellous graft, autologous cancellous graft. Growth factors such as plasma derived growth factors, bone morphogenic proteins, and gene therapy, which have been just named. Okay, you just take a photo shot of this and they will be only helpful in your paper writing. Okay, most of these things are not used in current day practice. It needs further research. Okay, all these things. Now supposedly I'm talking about bone grafting. Okay, the gold standard for treatment of a non-union is bone graft. Okay, bone graft is something where you take an extra bone. The extra bone can be taken from iliac crest, olecranon, distal radius, okay, or proximal tibia. You can take and graft. Okay, you can take a cancellous graft. This cancellous graft is taken and we take that and put it at the fracture site. This bone graft has got three properties. Okay, the first property is that it is osteogenic. The word itself means that it's osteogenic in sense it can produce new bone. Okay, genic. The second one is osteoinductive. Okay, if you put a bone graft there, it will start sending signals so that other side bone also starts getting formed. That is osteoinductive. The last is osteoconductive, where if bone graft you put it like that, they form channels across themselves like that. And these channels are actually helping for the other bone cells to migrate towards the fracture site. Okay, got the point?
Yes, sir.
What should be the properties of a bone graft? It should be osteogenic, osteoinductive, and osteoconductive. This was again a question for us in somewhere in AIMS, I think.
Okay,
Okay, it should be osteoinductive, osteogenic, and osteoconductive. Autograft only has that. Okay, allograft is something taken from same species but a different human. Okay, allografts are taken from dead bodies. Okay, from the same species. If somebody dies, they can actually donate their bones also. Okay, those bones will not have osteoinductive and osteogenic properties. It will have only osteoconductive properties. They have only scaffoldings through which you inject some bone graft, autologous bone graft, in sense same person's bone graft, then it will start traveling along these osteoconductive channels and start the new bone formation. That means allograft will not have both osteogenic and osteoinductive characters. It will have only osteoconductive properties. Okay. Now I told you these are the two non-surgical modalities. Now the other non-surgical modalities is trying some electromagnetics and ultrasound. Okay. These are again some theory-based questions, but they are actually not helpful in practice. Okay. These are electromagnetic treatment and ultrasound treatment are the non-surgical modalities. Now to summarize my points, okay, listen all of you. Now non-union is, you cannot diagnose a non-union on single X-ray. The first point you should carry forward is never see a X-ray and tell you, "Bhaiya, ye to nahi hua unite. Agla unite vitranga apdi solla mudiyadhu." You have to see serial X-rays. That means at least every month for 3 consecutive months, take X-rays, and it should be 9 months for diagnosing a non-union. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Second, the causes can be patient related, fracture related, and surgery related. You have to equally give importance to everything. Okay, you just cannot treat the fracture and say that the treatment is done, now you are done. You have to improve the patient, you have to improve your surgical skills, and you have to see the conditions also. You have to improve all three things. Only then the fracture will unite. The principle of management of a non-union should essentially include stabilization of the fracture, eradication of the infection, and try to improve the biology. You cannot put in a big time plate, periosteum completely you remove and put a big time plate and try to unite it very well together. That is not done. Okay, you have to improve the fracture biology so that a lot of blood supply comes to that. There is no infection around, and you have to stabilize it so properly that there is no abnormal mobility. Okay, got the point, sir? All of you?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And the last but not the least, it's always better to prevent a non-union than getting it. If you are getting into a patient who is in non-union, it will be a headache for your lifetime. So early recognition of a non-union and trying to cure it is the only way out. Okay, that is
Okay.
the crux of this talk, man. Okay, that is about non-union. This is enough to write a small question, whatever you get in your final year exam. Okay, this will be mostly 101%. It will be a question for you in your postgrad, in your final exams.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, try to grab some points in it. Okay,
Okay, sir.
I will share this with all of you. I'll send it to Santosh. I think Santosh rang me up. I'll share this slide share. I'll slide share with him. Any questions here? Any questions you all have? Do not hesitate to ask. Any questions? No, no, all clear. I think. Ask, man. Anybody here? There are, I think, a lot of people ask. See, take home message is delayed is 6 months. Non-union is 9 months, but 3 consecutive X-rays without any union. Okay, you should take that in mind. Second one is there are a lot of causes: injury, bone, surgeon, fracture, and then drugs. Okay, and these I taught you all. Actually, it is mostly surgeon related. Mostly I land up with cases like this only. Okay. Any questions, man? Nobody has any questions?
Sir, I have a doubt, but it's
Please
not a
do
doubt,
ask,
sir.
man. Yeah,
But I
first of
didn't
all,
mistake.
no, we as KMCNs, no, we are so shy, man. All of you are so shy, no. IT was like you only, man. All of us are so shy to even ask, no. That we better fail than to ask a question.
Sir, my own grandpa has fallen
Yes.
last month
He fell down last month, man. Yeah, tell me.
as a self fall. When you wake up around 6 o'clock, sir, he had an intertrochanteric fracture, sir,
Yes, intertrochanteric fracture. Tell me, Nana.
on right leg, intertrochanteric fracture.
Hmm.
So I admitted in KMC, sir, but it's like psychiatrically, his vision also not good, sir.
Okay.
And he's not aware of that he has fallen and broke, that the bone
Right.
was broke.
Hmm.
Just he thought he was fall and like that only, sir.
Okay.
He asked us to என்ன வீட்டுக்கு கூட்டிட்டு போயிடுங்க அப்படியே சொல்லிட்டு இருந்தாங்க.
Hmm.
But I decided that outcome நல்லா இருக்காதுன்னு நான் சர்ஜரி வேணான்னு சொல்லிட்டேன், சார்.
1 month over now.
No, sir, no, sir. At the time of admission, sir, he died, sir.
Yeah,
After
man. You see, what happens is, Nana, this femur, no?
he has no complication like comorbidities like diabetes,
Yes.
hypertension, no comorbidity. 85 years, sir, old.
Yeah.
But it was my mistake or
Nobody's mistake. I also lost my grandfather due to IT fracture only, man.
no idea whether the outcome was good. If they done surgery, it too painful and immobilization also there, sir.
No, man, don't worry. What happens, no? All of you take this message home, man. What happens, no? Whenever you are a doctor in family, no?
Yes, sir.
Your patient will get complicated only.
Okay, sir, he is complicated with bed sores.
Yeah, a lot of complications happens with doctor's family, man.
Okay, sir. But
You have
I
to
thought
check that.
my decision
Try
was
to
wrong.
treat somebody, no, they will get complicated only.
Sir, I thought my decision was wrong to
No,
cancel
no,
the
no,
surgery.
no. It often falls wrong, man. It often falls wrong with doctor itself. I tell you why. Because what happens is, suppose you have an IT fracture, no, you don't blame yourself for that. Because most of the studies which have been told, no, if you have a neck fracture, okay, if you have a neck fracture, the life tenure of a patient after life of a neck fracture, 80% of them will not see the second year. Can you believe me? If you have a neck fracture, 80% of patients will not see the second year, will not see the third year. They will maximum live up to 2 years. And if not operated, they will live 80% of them will die within first 6 months.
Okay, sir.
Even if you operate now, you will not see it 2 years. If you don't operate, you will not see the 6th month, man.
But I thought he's 85 years
No,
old.
no, you would
Pain
have killed him anyways, man. No, no, no. You would have killed him anyways. So don't blame yourself. As a doctor, it happens, man.
Okay, sir.
No need to worry. But what happens in IT fracture now, the whole limb falls aside, man. It falls like this in axial rotation. And you start getting DVT and all and bed sore and all, lot of pain. Mostly they die out here. They die out if you not operate. You don't operate.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
So somehow you should operate them, I think, so that you save your skin, like, as a doctor and family. Okay. Anybody else here? Anybody? Any question, man? Out of orthopedics or anything? Ask, man. Nobody. There are 113 people, all silent. Okay, let me ask one question then. Why does the lateral condyle of humerus go into non-union? Somebody?
So because of muscle pull from the forearm.
Yes, very good. It rotates a fragment, okay, into 180 degrees, it rotates it. Okay, why does the scaphoid go into non-union? Not you now, somebody else. I think you are the only one who was listening to me. Somebody else. Why does the scaphoid go into non-union?
Retrograde blood supply.
Who is that? Put on the screen also, man, all of you. I'm not sure why you're not putting on the screen, all of you.
Niraimori, sir.
Tell me, Nana.
Retrograde blood supply.
Very good, very good. There's a retrograde blood supply to the scaphoid. Okay. Third question. Can somebody tell me when do you call a fracture is delayed union?
More than 6 months.
Very good. Who is Santosh? You must be listening. Okay. What are the X-ray findings of a non-union? What are the X-ray findings of non-union? Of a hypertrophic non-union?
Increased calcium.
No, not you all. It's not Santosh, not Praveen Raj, not Nalimuni. No, not all three of you. No, somebody else now. What are the X-ray findings of a hypertrophic non-union? There are two types of hypertrophic non-union men. That is elephant foot and horse hoof. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Yeah. If you don't see non-union or you are unable to diagnose it, unable to diagnose a non-union on an X-ray, what do you do?
CT, sir. Both CT and
Before that?
clinical examination.
No, do a varus valgus stress X-rays.
Okay, sir.
Then take a CT. CT scan is the gold standard for it.
Okay, sir.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Why does the distal third tibia is more prone to get non-union?
pressure.
Somebody tell me. I will tell you. The distal third tibia goes into non-union because of several reasons actually. The first one is only one nutrient artery which goes down, okay? That means there is not much of blood supply which goes down to the distal third. Secondly, if you all see, there is not much of soft tissue cover over there in the distal third. Okay, you don't have a soft tissue like proximal leg, no? You have got gastrocnemius, soleus and all. But when you come to distal third, there is only bare skin over there. There is not much of soft tissue around. There are only tendons, nerves around, but there is not much of soft tissue there. Thirdly, whenever you have a distal third fracture, no, that is very unstable. Very unstable because the ankle hangs on it. There are three causes which causes a distal third non-union. Okay, all of you?
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Any questions, man? Any questions? Okay. Okay then, man. All of you enjoy. You're not going to college at all, huh?
No, sir, for a past 7 months.
Why, man? You often
Sir,
know that
because of COVID only.
super places to study, man. Hmm? Garden and all is
Thank you, sir.
Thanks for leaving, huh? Fine, man.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, guys. Bye. See you all. Bye then. Okay?